round, what's this, 6 or 7? I had to miss around. FCA camp, too much going on, so I had to skip the last one. But this one, Western Oklahoma. A little bit more barren than the previous rounds, not nearly as many trees, more open, so we'll see how that treats us today. It's going to be pretty fast. Got some rain earlier this week, but I would imagine that's all gone now. So we'll see what it's like, but one way or another, we're riding dirt bikes today, and that's pretty cool.
So I came back in from practice, and when I stopped on the concrete pads, like, my tire's flat. The tire can't be flat, I've got bibs. Well, it's flat, there's a dead spot. It's completely gone inside my bib, so I'm gonna go get a heavy duty tube, which is not ideal for this location because there's cactuses and mesquite trees and who knows what else, so wish me luck on that. Was it just shrunk?
I guess so, man.
Dude.
It had that big old gap.
Yeah, it did. Good to meet you, Keith. Shout out to SPR for hooking me up on a tire. Hopefully we don't get a flat today. It wouldn't be their fault. Talk to you later.
Justin Linkus, Casey Ray, and Taylor Myers ready to roll in 10 seconds.
Cap today, they cut the race short to an hour and a half, which I for one am grateful for. I know there's a little bit of mixed reviews on that, but you know, hey, I'm all for not getting a heat stroke if you're not. So I thought it was a good move. It wasn't terribly hot. I think it was 93 degrees, but it felt hot, especially when you're on a bike. It's putting off all that extra heat, so it felt pretty hot. So think I was out there for an hour 48, hour 49 minutes. And overall went pretty good. Got what I thought was gonna be a decent start. I was maybe third going into the corner. I tried to sweep around the outside. It kind of seems to be my move. And Melvin kind of lost his back end just a little bit and kind of had to check up for that. Ended up going into the trails, I think 5th out of 6. And was just right there behind Melvin, just kind of dogging him. And top 3 guys kind of gapped us a little bit. So I was on him, just trying to stay on him, try to force some kind of error. And we were kind of going through some other people that would come up on us. And so we stayed together for a pretty decent amount of that first lap or so. And, you know, I'd kind of gain on him or he'd gain on me. So, but pretty evenly matched there. Another funny thing that happened was I hit some bumps while I was sitting down, like on the first lap, and my hydration pack, my fanny pack, was, you know, full. I got 3 bottles of water in it, so it's quite heavy, and it's just got a buckle in the front, and it must flop pretty hard, and it pulled the buckles apart, and so he's just like hanging out behind me. It's like, do I try to yank it off and keep going, or do I stop and put it back on? I think I made the right decision. I stopped, buckled it back on. That's whenever I lost Melvin because of that. And looked back, and Taylor Myers was right behind me. I was like, oh, I gotta go. So that was kind of my push back into catching Melvin. So I was just pushing away from him, and then eventually caught Melvin again. But yeah, I was like, oh, I don't think I could have done very well if I didn't have water. So.
Cook that one.
Making a little bit of a mistake, and I got inside of him and held it on and just tried to put on some distance and run from him, and before I knew it I had a little bit of distance on him, and I was able to catch a toe off of I think his name is Wyatt Piera, and we were cooking for a little while. It was cool because I could really see his helmet and tell where the trail was going to go, so I didn't have to read the trail. I could just kind of see him off and, you know, probably 10 bike lengths ahead, and just stay up there and hold it on. So that was cool to chase him. And then eventually we got into some other riders in between us, and I just kind of lost the toe, but was able to still keep a pretty good pace going. Ended up catching another rider in my class, dogged him for quite a while, not being super close, but staying with him and hoping that he'd make some kind of error. And he really didn't. I could tell that when we went through a creek crossing or something like that, and his foot peg folded up on him, and it really threw him off pretty bad. So I think he kind of had to bobble around trying to get his foot peg to release. So I took the opportunity, made the pass, and just kept running. So at that point I was up into 3rd place. Went in for hit, I think the beginning of lap 4. Steph wasn't quite ready yet. I don't blame him at all. I was actually a little bit closer to who he was pitting than I thought we were gonna be. So Steph wasn't ready, and I thought the guy I had just passed was right on me, so I was like, I've gotta go. And so went ahead and did another lap, got the bottle on the 5th lap. And because the race was a little bit short, I didn't have to get gas or anything like that, or at least I thought I didn't. And I was hoping I was gonna be correct. And ended up, I was fine, had enough gas to make it through the race, but normally this length of race I wouldn't have any problem, but the track was a lot faster than normal, so I was starting to question if I was gonna have enough fuel to make it to the end. So last lap, I was just trying to keep up the pace but not throw anything away, and also knowing that Melvin is like really an animal on the last lap, so I did look back probably more than I should have, but I was wanted to make sure that I was managing whatever I had and not doing something stupid and losing it like I did a couple races ago on the last few corners. So sure enough, like probably 4 or 5 corners left in the race, I saw him back there and I was like, oh boy. So it just turned into, okay, just ride smooth, don't be anything dumb in the last few corners.
Thank you.
Sure enough, whenever we, when I entered the scoring chute, made the U-turn, I saw him going right into the scoring chute too, so he was maybe 5 seconds back or so. So crazy after that amount of time you can be that close to somebody. So we got an ultrasound a little while back. We're expecting a baby, and I've been wanting to do the reveal at a race, so I thought that would be pretty cool to do it on the start line. My wife said that's probably not a good idea because then you don't have a chance to stick around and hang out and celebrate or anything like that. So she convinced me to do it at the finish line, so I was like, well, I definitely want to make sure I get a podium then. Thanks to the Taylor family and the Wileys for helping me out with that. They videoed and taped it on there and knew the secret before I did, so we didn't know what we were having. So taped on a powder bag onto the back wheel and tried to do a burnout, and it kind of worked. But surprise, we're having a boy. So pretty excited about that. But a good day racing. Had a lot of fun. Don't love racing in the heat, but we did it. And got another one next weekend, and then we'll go on summer break.
Congratulations, that's awesome.